Hello and welcome to the Plate Spinning Academy podcast, hosted by me, Nick Davis, a productivity mentor and multi-passionate entrepreneur. I know what it feels like when you want to do all of the projects all at the same time, with never enough time and energy to do it all. I'm a passionate creative who's found my almost perfect blend of business and life that keeps my head motivated, my body energised and my heart happy. I'll be talking about all things to do with organisation, rotas, goal setting, systems and structures, and strategies for business and life together, all combined with a healthy dose of accountability and motivation to help you on your journey. It's time for you to find your tailored recipe for accomplishment and contentment. Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to talk about the concept of the village today. You can hear people talking about that it takes a village to raise a child. And in the online space, we talk about it takes a village to build a business. So if you see somebody in business doing really well, I'm pretty sure, in fact, I'm almost 100% sure that they've got a team behind them. They're not doing it all by themselves because nobody can do it by themselves. But there's a lot of assumptions when it comes to support, particularly with family, that we have all got this amazing family support network that we can rely on. That it's okay if one of the kids needs picking up from school and you can't make it because you've got a meeting, because you can just get one of the grandparents to do it. Or the kids are off sick and you've got meetings booked in. It's okay. It's okay. I'll get my mum to do it. I'll get my dad to do it. And the reality is not everybody has that family support. We certainly don't have it. And we've got quite a large family. So I'll just give you a little bit of the background of how I've ended up here, creating my own podcast. About 10 years ago, my stepchildren lost their mum. There's actually 8 children altogether, although some of them were older. And myself and my now husband have raised the 5 youngest over the last few years. And it's been a really difficult journey. And the assumption is, from a lot of people that we speak to, is that the only way that we have managed it is because we've had family support. And we don't have any family support. I don't have any parents left. My husband doesn't have any parents left. Any siblings that we have are not supportive. There's nobody there. And it's really, really hard when you're going through trauma and grief. You really do find out who your friends are, I guess. So we've had to become accustomed to the fact that we do stuff by ourselves. We become almost self-reliant. That can in itself be a trauma response. It's a very, very difficult situation to get your head around. Well, 10 years ago, we were suddenly kind of thrown into things virtually overnight. Basically, my household went from myself, my husband, who was just my partner at the time, and my youngest son. And suddenly we had my husband's 5 youngest living with us full time and permanently. And it was just a case of, okay, right, we're just getting on with it. But we were also dealing with young children, all at different ages and different stages in life, all dealing with grief in their own way. And it was all consuming. It was chaos. It was chaos for the first few months. My shopping bill went from, let's say, £50-60 a week to 200. I couldn't just nip to the shops anymore because the trolley was overflowing with shopping, to the point where I'd get stared at in the supermarket and questions were asked. Oh, are you feeding an army? Oh, you've got a lot of children. Really inappropriate stuff considering what was going on. In a way, that kind of pushed me into going to do online shopping, getting the grocery shop delivered, because it was just easier to do it that way rather than have complete strangers stare at you and make judgments. So the shopping bill went sky high, the trolley went sky high, the laundry went sky high. It was a pretty ridiculous time, to be honest. There were times when the house just looked like a jumble sale. There was chaos everywhere. And I realised that if I didn't get a handle on things quickly, we were going to be totally consumed with the chaos and everything that was going on. And that's when I started to pull together these systems that I now use and have become part of my life. I started putting meal plans into place. I started having the kids be responsible, for doing their own little jobs around the house. We put a housework rota into place. I put all of these tiny little systems into place that, to be honest, I'd not had to rely on before. And all of a sudden, they became essential for survival. And the flip side to them becoming super organised and getting on with it and managing is that people think you're okay. People are like, oh, I can take a step back now. You seem to be doing all right now. And that is so far from the truth, because actually underneath the calm exterior, because we made life actually look quite easy considering what we were going through. We made life look so easy that people stepped back, and we found actually we turned around one day and realised that there was nobody there to help us because we were so busy fighting just to survive. There was no thriving, it was just survival mode and constant firefighting mode every single day. There was a problem and we'd just deal with it because that's just what you do, or certainly what we did. But little by little, the village that we thought we had started to fall away. People were helping us because they were grieving in their own way. And all they knew was how to, I'll help with the kids, I'll help with this, I'll help with that. But that all fell away, and then suddenly you're doing everything on your own. So I guess what I'm saying is one of the reasons why I'm so organised at things is because I have had to be. This has been a survival tool. It's not particularly been something that I wanted to do, but it's something that has been completely necessary. And as things have got easier in some ways, the kids have got older. Yes, life's got a little bit easier in some ways, but in other ways, we go through a whole new level of grief as the kids mature. They take on a new level of understanding, and we suddenly feel like we're back at square one again. So thankfully, I rely on these systems and rotas that I've put together, and I fall back on them. Whenever life gets difficult, that's what I fall back on. Do I stick to them religiously? No, I don't. And I don't need to anymore. We've got more flexibility now. We've just got 2 of the kids at home now. Life is a lot easier in that respect. But then comes a whole new wave of problems and issues. And, as time moves on, our family dynamics have changed so much that I don't even know what normal is anymore. So I guess the assumption that everyone's got the village is a myth, because not everybody has that support. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Come and find me on socials. I've got a couple of free groups you can find on my profile that you are welcome to join. I'd love to hear more about what you'd like me to talk about on the podcast, and I would welcome your ideas for future episodes.